Hi, everyone. It is Financially Free Dee here, and this is our first live. So, if it took me a second, guys, I was having a little bit of technical difficulties because this is my first time going live. So, hello, everyone in the chat. Please say hello, say hi. Please let me know why you're here. So, tell me business credit, personal finance. Put your name in the chat. Let's go ahead and get this thing going in our very first Ask D series. So, as we have people coming in, let's go ahead and put why you're here in the chat. You can put BC for business credit, PC for personal credit. You can let me know where you're from. Put your name down in the comment section. Go ahead. Everyone come in. We are super excited for our very first Ask D live series. So this is my very first time ever going live in my life. I've never been on live on YouTube or on Instagram or any other social media platform. So I am super excited to see you guys here. I'm super excited. All right. Hi, Kathy. So we're here for business credit and personal credit. I got you, Kathy. So you guys can go ahead and start coming in. I got a list of questions that I'm answering, but you can go ahead and put your questions in the chat as well. So business credit, personal credit, where you're from. I want to say hello to everyone. Everyone, thank you for our first Ask D live series. So if you do not know, we are going to be doing Ask D on Sundays. Sundays. Okay, Sundays. All right. Now, another thing about this Sunday thing, I'm going to be interviewing entrepreneurs, 6-figure, 7-figure entrepreneurs here in Ask D as well. So that series of Ask D will be more like Ask the Entrepreneurs. I don't know. I got to come up with something catchy. So you guys go ahead and get involved. Let me know what you would like to see. Please comment your questions down in the comment section. I know it's Sunday and we all want to just relax. I know for some people it's Father's Day, so I am not going to be here all day, but you guys start to put your questions down in the comment section. You'll see I have my handy dandy questions here. I was very honest about if you write your comments down in the comment section, I'm going to answer them here in these videos, typically in Ask D. It took me a while to get here to Ask D, but all right. Hi, Chastity. Hi, Miss Wanda and Mr. Pete. All right. So we got San Diego in the house. We got Texas in the house. We want everybody to come in. We're going to make this thing interactive. Comment your questions down below. Let me know if you're here for personal credit or business credit or both. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with the very first question. So the first question I got from Louis Zegler, it says, good morning. When you did a product change, where was my personal credit score? So he's talking about Navy Federal. So if any of you all here in the chat have Navy Federal, you can put NF in the chat. NF in the chat. All right. We got Florida in the house. We got Detroit, Michigan in the house. Hello, everyone. All right. So if you are Navy Federal, as you guys know, I got a bunch of videos about Navy Federal in on this channel because Navy Federal is probably the bank I've had for the second longest. I've had that bank for 14 years. So when you do a product change with Navy Federal, what you want to do is you want to be sure, one, that you have money in your accounts. So people, this is when I'm talking about relationship banking. This is the type of things that they look for. So banks like Navy Federal and other credit unions, they're able to kind of accept people with lower credit scores because they care more about their internal score, meaning what sort of accounts do you have with them? Do you have a checking account? Do you have a savings account? Do you have credit cards? Do you have different accounts with them, money market, mortgages, or whatever it is that you may have, auto loans? So that is how your internal score is kind of made up based on the products that you have. So for me, when I did the product change, my credit score was at like 745. So Louis, to answer your question, when I did my product change, my credit score was at 745, right? But that's not required. All right. So, Chastity, I see your question in the chat. I'm going to get to you in just a second. All right, let's see. So, Chastity says, when you get a flagship account, can you make cash deposits or should they be direct deposits before you apply for lines of credit or credit cards? You can make cash deposits. So, full disclosure, Chastity, at first I had my direct deposits going to a different account. I had it going to the account that I had for the longest. I've had that account since I was about like 3 years old. So, all of my direct deposits went into that account. Main thing with Navy Federal is it would increase your internal score if you have direct deposits going into your checking account. But as long as you're making regular deposits, and those can be cash deposits, because when I did my product change, it was all cash deposits. I did nothing but cash deposits. Okay. So nothing but cash deposits at that time. But I would recommend that you do have a direct deposit set up, because that would increase your internal score. And another thing with Navy Federal is you can use the pre-qualification tool. And I'm not sure if I can share my screen on live. I've never done this before. So if not, I will make a video. I will make a video specifically about how you can go through the pre-qualification tool. If you guys would like to see that video, just put PQ in the chat. Put PQ in the chat so I know if you guys want me to make the video, because I don't know how to do screen share on live. I never did that before. All right. So we got Sunnyvale, California in the house. All right, Sunnyvale. All right. So question number 2. I will make the video. I see a lot of PQs in the chat. So yes, I will make the video. I'll try to make it within this week so that it'll come out the next week. Because yeah, I don't know how to share screen. I'll practice, you guys, for the next Ask D. I'll try to see if I can share the screen. Okay, so let's see. This person is from Brian. This question number 2 is from Brian Foster. It says, how do I see my FICO 9 score? I pay $50 a month for FICO, but I can't seem to find my FICO 9 score. I see other scores like 5, 8, 4, 2, and 10, but not 9. So one thing that you can do to see your FICO 9 score is it depends on what banking system that you have. So if you have American Express or if you have Navy Federal, like some banks actually provide your FICO 9 score when you are a member of theirs. But if you use myfico.com, all of the FICO scores should be accessible. So Brian, you should be using myfico.com. Myfico.com. You should be able to see all of your FICO scores listed. Now, depending on what level you pay for is what you can see. So double check to make sure that you paid for everything that you have, all of the FICO scores. And if you have not, one rule of thumb that I like to say is use Experian. Use Experian. Experian uses FICO 8. But the only difference between the FICO 8 and the FICO 9 is FICO 8 will show up if you have like a real estate charge off or a real estate bankruptcy. So you can use Experian and kind of test the waters of where your FICO score is sitting. Okay. All right. Let's see. Any other questions in the chat? All right. Who else we have in here? All right. We have my girl, Kadera Muhammad. So if you are a business owner, this is a quick shout out. She did not pay me for this, but I'm just saying this is not an ad, but this is definitely someone who helped to elevate my business to times 1,000, times 1,000,000. So if you are a business owner and you are looking to level up your business, definitely say hi to Kadera in the chat. Reach out to her. She's the queen of systems. Systems. And if you do not have systems, you do not have a business. So I just want to do that quick plug. This is a free testimonial here, but seriously, if you're a business owner in the chat, definitely reach out to Kadera because she's amazing. All right. So let's see. Everybody, write your questions down in the comment section. Write them down in the comment section. I'm going down based on the videos. If you're just getting in, I have my questions right here. I took all the questions from the comment section. But if you have some questions that you're thinking of, go ahead and put them down in the comment section. This is interactive. This is why you guys are here. Definitely like this live so that other people can see it. Share it if you know anyone who has personal credit or business credit questions, or, concerns, go ahead and share it with them. Let them know to jump on so they can get their questions answered. And also make sure you like the live, share the live, comment down in the comment section your questions. And if you end up watching the replay, write your comments down in the comment section. So on the next Ask Dee next Sunday, I'll be able to answer those questions. All right. So number 3, we have screen name Darling A. Question is, I have an internal FCU score of 302. What is the average? Is this good or bad? So I would say 302 is good. It's not great. So to answer that question, 450 is the highest internal score that you can have with Navy Federal. And I know a lot of people ask me, how do I find my internal score? Now, sometimes, not very often, if you have the portal, if you have a Navy Federal login and you have a portal, you can message them in the portal and ask them, tell them that you're looking to, maybe apply for a mortgage or looking to apply for a loan or a line of credit. And you just want to know what your standing is with Navy Federal and if they can provide you your internal score. Now, they are not required to do that. So it depends on the agent that you get, whether they will actually give you the score or not. But this is the second way that you can find out your internal score is if you've ever applied for any sort of product with Navy Federal and you got denied, then you receive a letter in the mail. On the back of that letter in the mail, it gives you your internal score. So that's how I actually found out my internal score. So if you guys watched my previous videos about Navy Federal and I told you guys how I was trying to get a credit limit increase and I got denied, that's how I found out my internal score. And key with that is just because you've been denied, if anyone here has been denied, that does not mean that that's set in stone. You can always get a reconsideration. That's how I increased my credit limit $15,000 overnight. Is I applied for a reconsideration. I told them, hey, I don't think the information that you have is accurate. Take a look at this, and then they approved me. So if you've ever been denied specifically with any bank, every single bank, every single credit card has something called a reconsideration line. So you guys write that down. Reconsideration line. It's a number that you can call. You can call them and say, hey, I was denied for this credit limit increase or for this credit card or for this loan. And these are the reasons you said that I was denied. And I don't agree with these reasons. I want a reconsideration. Now, if you contact the reconsideration line, you should have those items that they stated were the reasons you were denied. You should have supporting evidence as to why that's inaccurate. So, for example, with me, I was denied and they said it was because I didn't have enough money in the account for what I was requesting. So guess what I did? All I did was make sure that at that time I had $10,000 in the account. So when I called the reconsideration line, I told them, hey, look back at my checking account. I have $10,000 in there. They approved me right away. So definitely, if you did not know that before, write that down. If you've ever been denied or if you've ever been denied a credit limit increase, you can always be reconsidered. Okay. All right. So let's see. Fearless 908. How long do you think it usually takes to get a 450 internal score? So there's literally people who got to 450 in like a year or less. So, a lot of people jumped on this Navy Federal train when it became popular on social media. I was grandfathered into Navy Federal because I come from a military family. So I've been a Navy Federal customer many years prior, a whole decade prior to it being on YouTube. And at that time, I didn't know about an internal score. I had no clue about it. I just knew I had auto loans with Navy Federal. I had credit card with Navy Federal. I had a checking account, a savings account, a direct deposit. I had all the products outside of a mortgage that you could have with Navy Federal. Hence why my internal score was 450. But Fearless 908, I believe that as long as you set up a checking, a savings, and you have a regular direct deposit, you start to get their products. So credit card, I always say start off with the credit card because it's the easiest thing to get. Then after the credit card, the next easiest thing to get is like a personal loan or a one of those home improvement loans. That's another very easy product to get. So I would say start off with the checkings, the savings, and the credit card. And then oh yeah, okay, perfect. Fearless 908. So you have all that because you have a personal loan. Perfect. So you just see if you can message them in the portal and ask them what your internal score is. If they won't give it to you, then you're going to have to be able to get it in the mail. That's the only two ways you can get your internal score. So if you have all of those things, Fearless 908, you may very well already have a very high internal score with them, as long as you've never been delinquent, like you've never not paid them, like don't have any charged off cards or anything like that. You probably have something close to a 450. So you're probably doing really well with them. All right. Okay, so next one, question number 4 is from Philip Tibbs. It says, I've been a member of Navy Federal for 5 years. I have a cash rewards visa, checking, and savings account, easygoing money certificate, and direct deposit monthly. My internal score is 300. What else can I do to increase the debt ratio? So if your internal score is only 300, have you ever been late with them? So your internal score is also similar to your credit score in the sense of if you have Navy federal products and you're always late paying your bills, or you've been delinquent in your accounts, you've been overdrawn in your accounts, that stuff counts towards your internal scores. So if you don't know, you always want to make sure that you put those bills on auto payment for the minimum. I talk about that, I think, in my personal credit video that I just released this week. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that, definitely watch that video. I give some great tips about how I went from 645 to 750, and now I'm 815. I'm 815 is my personal credit score now. But one thing that you always want to do is you always want to put your payments on automatic payment for the minimum. And let me tell you why. Not only because you may forget to pay a bill, you may be a day late or 2 days late, but also when there's banking holidays and your payment is meant to come out, let's say like New Year's. Let's say your payment is due on the 1st and you always pay on the 1st, but New Year's you will have to have paid that before, probably on the 29th, December 29th. And if you do not do that, then you're going to have a late payment. And those late payments affect your internal scores. And just so you know, every bank has an internal score. Now, credit unions rely heavily on their internal scores, but every single bank has an internal score. So you want to be sure that your internal scores are good with all of the banks that you have. All right. So if you're just coming in, I see we got some more people coming in. Make sure that you write your question down in the comment section. I'm taking the comments from the videos as well as the comments down in the comment section. So definitely make sure you write your comments down in the comment section. You guys, make sure you like this live. I need everyone on the live to like the live. If you like the fact that I'm actually answering your questions live, please like the live, because that'll help everybody to be able to see this video. So I'm here. I'm willing to answer whatever it is that you guys have questions about, whether it's personal credit, business credit. It can even be business finance. It can be different things. It doesn't only have to be about personal or business credit. As long as it's entrepreneurial, I can answer it. It's to the best of my ability. I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm active in this. So if you like that, please like this live, share this live, comment your comments down in the comment section. I'm not going to have you guys here all day, but I want to make sure that you're getting value out of this. I want to make sure that we're building this community, that you guys feel like you can trust me to ask me questions. And the whole goal is to get everybody financially free here. So we just want to make this very clear. Financially Free Dee came from me becoming financially free. And I want everybody who watches this channel to actually become financially free too. So if you have questions about how to build your business, if you have questions about how to increase your personal credit. And we're not just talking about the score, we're talking about getting high limits, right? Because there is a big difference between having a $3,000 credit card and a $30,000 credit card. A $30,000 credit card funded my entire business, which allowed me to create a six-figure business. But a $3,000 credit card wouldn't have been able to do that. So there are things that you need to know in order to get those $30,000 limits. Down in the chat, if you have a credit limit anywhere, credit card or a loan or a line of credit that's above 20K, put 20K in the chat. Put 20K in the chat. I want to see who I'm talking to. If you do not, let's talk about how we get you there, because that's a big deal. The difference between 2,000 and 20,000 and the difference between 3,000 and 30,000. So if you have at least a 20K limit in the chat, put 20K down in the comment section. If you want to know how we get to 20K, put that down in the comment section as well. So that way I'm here giving you guys what you actually need. Tell me what you actually want to know. All right. So next we're going to question number 5. It's from JC1. And the question is, where's the pre-approval tool hidden? All right. So I'm going to make a video about that. So JC1, I'm going to make a video on how you get pre-qualified for products with Navy Federal. I'm speaking about Navy Federal when I'm talking about pre-qualification tools. However, there are other banks who have pre-qualification tools. So you guys write this down. So American Express has a pre-approval tool. Theirs is not even a pre-qualification. Theirs is a pre-approval. So American Express has one. Another bank that has one is Discover. Discover has a pre-approval. Capital One has a pre-qualification. So there are different products that you can use and different banks that you can use. The Apple Card. If you are you have an iPhone, you're an Apple user, you have a MacBook, and you have the Apple Card, you can get pre-approved or pre-approved with them as well. So there's a bunch of different banks, different lending products that you can actually find out if you're going to get approved or not way before you can apply. So that way you don't waste a hard inquiry on applying for something that you are not going to get approved of. So if you guys want me to make a video about all the different banks and all the different products that actually have pre-qualification tools, put pre-qualify in the chat. So I know that's another thing I need to make a video about. Okay. All right. So let's see who we got in the chat. All right. UB says, how can I get 20K and start business credit? All right. So number 1, with business credit, your personal credit needs to be good. That's why I keep telling you guys. I know you guys are mostly here for business credit, but I make these personal credit videos for a reason. I'm making these personal credit videos because your personal credit has to be good in order for you to get good business credit, unless you are making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in your business monthly. You understand? So to get to 20K on the business side, you want to make sure your personal side is good. So this is my rule of thumb. Your minimal personal credit score needs to be 720. That's the minimum. I don't apply for anything under 720, not for any of my clients, not for myself. If my personal credit score was 720 or below, I wouldn't do it, because you're not going to get high approvals. You're not. You may get approved, but you're not going to get high approvals, right? So first things first, you want that credit score above 720. Secondly, you want to make sure that you have an identical credit limit on the personal side. And what I mean by that is, the reason why I got a $30,000 business credit card on a brand new business is because I had a $30,000 credit limit on my personal credit card. Okay. So that's very, 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 very important. You want to be sure that on the personal side, that your credit limit is similar or, comparable to what you want on the business side, right, Brandon? You need that. Those are the two things that I would say that you should focus on first. Making sure your credit score, your personal credit score is above 720, and make sure that you have a comparable credit line on the personal side to what you want on the business side. So the reason why, guys, that I even increased my credit limit with Navy Federal $15,000 is not because I really wanted it on the personal side. It was because I knew I needed to have that limit so that I can get that same limit on the business side. You understand? So if you guys understand that, that's a key. That is a gem. That is a jewel. Make sure you take that to the bank because it's very important. If you don't have the personal credit score to support it and you don't have the personal credit limit to support that, you will not get a high limit on the business side. So I hope that answers your question, Brandon. Let's see. So Fearless 908, your credit card with Navy Federal is only $3,000. So let me ask you this question. Have you ever received a credit limit increase with Navy Federal as of yet? So one thing about Navy Federal is as long as you're putting money in the account, you have money in the account, your personal credit score is decent. It doesn't even have to be great with Navy Federal. It just has to be decent. Then you can get a credit limit increase every 91 days. So every 90 days, after that 90 days is up, that very next day, you can apply for a credit limit increase. Okay? So if you have not received one yet, and you haven't received one in the last 91 days, then go ahead and apply. You can apply in the app or you can apply over the phone. A lot of people say they like to apply in the app because it doesn't give you a hard credit pull. For me, I applied over the phone and I didn't get a hard credit pull. But again, I've been in their ecosystem for 14 years. So I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't know if the fact that my credit score is so high makes a difference, but you can apply in the in the tool from the portal, or you can apply over the phone. All right, everybody coming in, go ahead and like this live, share this live, put your questions down in the comment section. We are at Ask Dee. So if you just got in here, we are doing our Ask Dee series. So every Sunday, I'm going to come on here live for 1 hour, and I'm going to take your questions from the previous videos as well as your questions here live, and I am going to answer them. Also, on some Sundays, I'm going to be interviewing other entrepreneurs, 6-figure, 7-figure entrepreneurs, people who have made hundreds of thousands or millions and millions of dollars in their business. And they're going to come talk directly to me and talk to you guys, be able to answer these questions live. So you definitely don't want to miss these Ask Dee series, which will be every Sunday. So now we're going to go to question number 6. This is from Teb Tingri, and it says, they just opened a 5% APY certificate as of which is January 9th, 2023. It's a 15-month certificate. Can you open it with just $50? So I believe that there's no minimum with Navy Federal unless they've changed it. I don't know anybody who's only opened their certificate with only $50. So, Teb, I will have to double check on that, but I don't believe that there's a minimum. I don't believe that there is, but if there is, the lowest amount that I've ever seen anyone open a certificate with is $500 personally. So personally, the lowest amount that I've saw is $500, but I can definitely check and see if there is a minimum, but I don't believe that there is. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's go back up to the questions. We're going to Miss Wanda and Mr. Pete. Make it do what it do. Dee, this is Pete from Rochester, New York. What's up, my girl? My question is, what do I need to do to go from $3,000 on your American Express to $20,000 on your business credit card? And I'm guessing that's an American Express card as well. So key thing is you want to increase your personal side. So for you, since you already have a business card, Mr. Pete, you want to use it to the limit. Use it to the limit, pay it back. Use it to the limit, pay it back. That's for everybody here. one thing that you can always do to ensure that you get credit limit increases is use that card and use it to the limit. Use it to the limit and pay it right back. Use it like a debit card. I tell people all the time, I don't use debit cards and I very rarely use cash. I don't like using cash and I don't like using debit cards. Want to know why? You get no rewards. And there's so many rewards just from using your credit card. My credit card gives me free vacations. My credit card bought all of my equipment for my business. So my laptops, my desktops, all of this stuff, you get all these rewards from credit cards, right? But you just have to use them responsibly. Don't use them like you don't have to pay them back. Use them like you would use your debit card, right? So Mr. Pete, use that thing to its limit. Use the entire $3,000, pay it right back. Use the entire $3,000, pay it right back. Do that for 90 days straight, consecutively, right? And then ask for a credit limit increase. And with American Express, your credit limit increases are you can get them with a soft pull. So you don't have to get a hard pull with with American Express or with Navy Federal. You can actually get soft pull inquiries with American Express. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. Pete. You want to use that thing, pay it right back. On the other side of that, you want to increase your personal credit limits as well. So that way your card will mirror your personal credit limits. Okay. All right. My light turned off on you guys. Sorry. All right. So we're going to question number 7. Styled by Bay. Question is, I have 2 charge-off accounts from almost 5 years ago in my experience, but a 740 credit score. Would I get denied if I apply for a business credit card? So this is how we operate with strategy. Okay, Styled by Bay. Now, first things first, do you have those charge-offs on every single credit bureau, or is it only on Experian? That's the first question that you need to ask yourself. Are those charge-offs only showing on Experian, or are they showing on Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion? Now, this is a 2-part answer. If these 2 charge-offs here are only showing on Experian, then you're going to apply for cards that pull from TransUnion or Equifax only, right? That's how you get your business journey started. I actually work with multiple clients that this is their situation. So we have to use products that pull from a bureau that's not Experian. So either TransUnion or Equifax. That's the first thing. So if it's only showing up on Experian, then you need to get a product that takes a credit pull from TransUnion or Equifax so they won't see the charge-off. Number 2, those charge-offs, if it's been 5 years, you can try to do credit repair and get those charge-offs removed. And that's a whole nother conversation in which we can't get into on this live. But if you all want to learn how to remove charge-offs, you want to start to get into the credit repair or restoration space of things, put personal credit in the chat so that I know that this is something that you guys want to see from me or something that you guys need to talk to me about one-on-one. Since this is YouTube, I can't get so super specific with just one situation, but I can try to make videos about as general as I can to cover as many people as possible. So if you have a specific situation that you want to talk with me about, you probably need to get on a call with me so we can talk about your specific situation. Okay. All right. Styled by Bay. I hope that answers your question. All right. So let's go down in the chat here. All right, guys, for everybody just coming in, make sure you like the live. Make sure you comment your question down below. I'm answering these questions live. We have about 30 more minutes to get through these questions. So definitely like the live, put your comment down in the comment section, and make sure that you share this live with someone who may have a personal credit question or a business credit question or just an entrepreneurial question. Make sure that you share this with them too. All right. So let's see, who do we have here? JC Israel. Hi, Dee. I've been trying to get a consultation with you since we talked. Oh, hi, Mike. Will this class be rerun? Okay, so yes, hi, Mike. Yes, this live is going to be posted on the channel, so you'll be able to watch this back. If you need to get another consultation, you need to click the link in the description to get on another consultation with me. Okay, Mike, I hope that answers your question. But yes, this live will be posted on the channel. And if you want to get another consultation, that's for anybody here who wants to have a consultation with me. Click the link in the description. It has the link to be able to get on a consultation with me. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go to question number 8. This is KDale2240. Can you have a non-for-profit or a sole proprietorship to get a Navy Federal business card? All right. So that is actually, so to answer your question, yes, you can have a non-for-profit with Navy Federal. You can definitely have a non-for-profit with Navy Federal. They do accept those. Now, with a sole proprietorship, it depends on how your business is set up. Like, are you set up legally? Or are you just going in saying, my name is KDale2240 and I'm a business and I want to open a bank account? No, that's not how Navy Federal works. You have to be legally registered with the state and the federal government in order to get an account with Navy Federal on the business side. Same thing with your non-for-profit. It needs to be registered with the state. It needs to be registered with the federal government. So yes, you can, but it's depending on how you are actually set up. So I hope that answers your question, K Dale. All right, let's see. All right. So again, to answer your question, Fearless 908, if you apply through the tool, through your portal in Navy Federal, a lot of people say that it's not a hard inquiry, that it's a soft inquiry. And I applied over the phone and it was a soft inquiry. So that's not guaranteed though with over the phone. So if I were you, I would apply from your portal, from your login, and ask for a credit limit increase and see what happens. Okay? So I know like 90% of people say that they apply online and they don't get a hard pull. I applied over the phone and I did not get a hard pull. Okay? All right. Number 9, Danita Civils. The question is, I was just denied and I have both personal and business accounts as well as a certificate savings as well. I did ask for reconsideration. So I'm guessing we're talking about Navy Federal. So guys, remember, your personal credit matters. Your personal credit matters. So again, I don't know what your personal credit score is, Danita, but I would not apply for anything if I did not have above a 720 credit score. I would not apply for anything. 720 and above is what you should be striving for. Secondly, you guys, when you are applying for these new products or these credit limit increases, you want to have money in your checking account if you bank with these people. If you do not have money in your account, they're going to look at you as risky. Remember, I told you guys that's why I was denied for the credit limit increase. And my credit score was great, all of that stuff. But I didn't have a lot of money in the account. I barely had any. So all I literally did to get a $15,000 credit limit increase in 24 hours was put $10,000 in the account. Not saying that you have to put 10,000, but I'm just saying I put $10,000 in the account and it made me get a 15,000 credit limit increase in 24 hours. So when you're applying for products, when you're applying for credit limit increases and you bank with the people that you're actually applying for, you need to have money in your accounts. That's for sure. Okay. All right. Fearless 908. My friend has a lot of high limit credit cards. I remember her telling me she does a lot of balance transfers, basically paying a card with another credit card. Can you explain that? All right. So we don't want to get too fancy with this. And people, you have to be strategic when doing any of this stuff, right? So for example, I love 0% interest business credit cards. If any of my clients here are watching, you know. If you know me, then you know I'm like the queen of a 0% interest business credit card, right? So the plan with that is you use that card while it's in its introductory offer, because 0% does not last forever. The most that it's ever been is 2 years that I am aware of, right? So you use that Fearless 908, you use, that's your card. But while you're doing that, you set up another card that is at 0% interest so that you can do a balance transfer. You don't pay the card to pay for another card on a monthly basis. That's not the way that I would do that. So let's say one of my cards is $50,000. I have a business credit card that has a $50,000 limit. Right now, that's my go-to card. I get all my points. I get all of my rewards. I do everything. I do all of my spend on that card. When that introductory offer is up at the end of this month, I got another card already set up that I'm going to do a balance transfer. And I'm going to balance transfer whatever amount that I have from this card that I'm using now onto that next card. That is how you do that. And that is how you maximize that. That is how you maximize being able to what is called cash flow in a business. So if I'm putting all of my expenses, paying my employees, paying for my marketing, paying for all my systems, paying for everything on a 0% interest business credit card, you must pay at least the minimum monthly on that. But I don't have to pay it off in full every month. But make sure you know what you're doing. You got to be careful with this. Okay. And remember, you don't want to mess up these relationships on the business side, because once you're out, you're out, you know? So just remember, that is how, I hope that answers your question, Fearless 908. That's how you do that. So you do it with a plan. You use a 0% interest business credit card or personal credit card, whatever it is that you have. Use that while you're in your introductory offer. Make sure a few months before or a month before, you have another card available that has the same limit or more as the current card that you're using, and it allows balance transfers. Every card does not allow balance transfers. So don't think that you can do this with any credit card that you want to. So you have to get a card that allows for balance transfers, and you want it to be a 0% interest. It makes absolutely no sense to do this if it's not a 0% interest card. Then you balance transfer when the introductory offer from the first card is done. Okay? All right. So if you guys like this, if you like what we're saying, if you like this video, if you like the fact that I'm answering these questions, tell me in the chat. Am I doing good? Am I answering your questions? Is this what you guys want to know? Is this why we're here? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know down in the chat so that we can keep this thing rolling as I go to the next question. Okay. So if you're new, if you just got on the live, I saw a few more people just come in. Make sure you like this live. Please like this live. Like the live, share the live. Have your people get on. If they got bad credit, or they're trying to increase their credit limits on the personal side, or if they're trying to get business credit, if they're a new entrepreneur, they need to be watching this Ask Dee series, because they can answer these questions live. I will answer these questions live. Now, I can't go super specific into someone's personal situation. If you need to explain your whole situation to me, then you need to click the link down below and get on a consultation with me so that I can explain this. Okay? All right. So now we're going to go to question number 10. The pastry warden reloaded. I thought they pulled from TransUnion. That's what stated online. Did something change? So let me tell you something about banking, guys, and how a bank pulls from a credit bureau. This is based on your geographical location. That is any bank. I don't care what that bank is. There is no bank that only pulls from this one place, no matter where you live. You may hear that online, and they may majority pull from that credit bureau. For example, if you're in California, which I know a lot of you guys watching here are from California, we typically get pulled from a different credit bureau than the rest of the region. So you have to do your homework on where these credit bureaus are pulling from. I mean, where these institutions are pulling from. Which credit bureau are they pulling from? Because I may be in California, right? So I'm going to use a perfect example of this. American Express. I'm in California. I have a client who's American Express that's in New York. They pulled my TransUnion credit file. They pulled my client's Experian credit file. And that's because of geographical location. So that's really, 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 really important. So if you hear me talk about anything in these videos, whether it's live or whether it's a pre-recorded video, I'm talking about my personal experiences or my experiences with my clients. That doesn't mean that that applies to everyone. I will never lie to you guys. Now, there are lenders or there are institutions that mostly pull from one place. That is very true. That is a very true situation. They mainly pull from one place, but they have the right to pull from any credit bureau that they want to, especially based on your geographical location. Okay, that's super important. All right, so let's go back down to the comment section. All right, so who do we have now? All right, let's see. All right, UB, you said you need help fixing your personal credit. Hit that link. Hit that link to get on a consultation with me. We'll definitely talk about your specific situation. And there's a reason why, guys, I don't want to get into very, very, very specific situations because this is your personal information and this is on the internet. So when you get into a consultation with me, if you know anybody who's had a consultation with me, you can second this in the chat. I'm going to talk about everything from A to Z. We're going to break down your real situation. And we can't do that here on live. I wouldn't suggest doing that. So if you want to fix your personal credit, get on a consultation with me. Click the link. It should be in this video. If it's not, go to one of the other videos and get on a consultation with me so we can talk about your specific situation, UB. Okay? All right. So next one. All right. We're going to page number 2, guys. And if you're new, you're just getting in here, make sure you comment your questions down below. We got about 15 minutes left. So I'm going to start going through these a little quicker. But remember, we will have these every Sunday. So you want to show up and you want to show out, submit your questions. You want to share this so that your friends and your family members, your other business owners, can get their questions answered too. Okay. So we got question number 11, Angel C. Aren't you losing the capital you're using to pay the loan off, plus giving them money to pledge and also paying it off for the pledge loan strategy? No. So Angel C, how this works with the pledge loan, there's 2 different pledge loans. There's the certificate and there's the savings. With the certificate, you can borrow 100% of the principal, meaning the initial money that you put into that loan, you can borrow it all back. So let's say, for example, and you can do this on a business side with other institutions, which I'll get more into that another day. But this is how the pledge loan strategy works. You are going to put whatever dollar amount you want to, $500, $5,000, $50,000 into a loan that is secured or backed by a certificate or a savings account. Me, I use the certificate one because you can borrow back 100% of that, right? So then you put the money in, they release 100% of it back to you as a loan, okay? That's why it's called a loan. So you're borrowing your own money, basically, right? And then you're going to pay back 80, 90, 95% of that loan. And guess what? You're showing a paid off loan for however long you have it for. So if you get one for 5 years, and as soon as they release that money back to you, you pay back 90% or 95% of it, you have a paid off loan that you never have to worry about. And it's just reporting on your credit report every single month, like clockwork. So you're paying very little interest, but they're also paying you interest because they have your money locked up. You understand what I'm saying? So you're earning interest on that money as well. So for all of you who have bad credit or you have credit where you have very little credit, this is what you need to be doing right away. This can literally take your credit score from 650 to 750. I have 2 clients that did this and it worked. I did this and it worked. Okay. So that's how the pledge loan strategy works. Now, every single bank does not do this. So again, you guys have to do your research or you got to watch my videos because I explain these things. But don't think just because one bank does something that another bank does it. That's not the case. So we're talking specifically about Navy Federal with this pledge loan strategy. All right. Next, we got Humble Simp. Says, how can I get over the 750 mark with only credit cards in my portfolio? Okay, so this is what you need to do, Humble Simp. Before I had anything, I had only authorized user and a credit card, right? So there's a difference between a credit score and a credit profile. Okay, there's credit score and there's credit profile. So literally, my little brother, who's 26 years old, and I did this for him when he was 23. I put him on my card, and he went from a 500 credit score to an 800. He had a better credit score than me at first, right? And he had no credit profile. It's because he had nothing on his credit. He didn't have anything negative. He didn't have anything positive. He didn't have anything. That's why I tell you guys that you have to, when you don't have credit, you have to build it. Even if your score is not bad, ideally, you want to have 10 accounts, have had 10 accounts at some point. They don't have to all be open at the same time. So that's why using the pledge loan strategy works, because that provides positive history to your credit profile. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're a person who has no credit, then you want to start doing things like pledge loans. And if you have money to use just to get it started, do a pledge loan. That's going to get you on over 750, Humble Simp. Pay your bills on time. Put them on auto pay like I told you. You'll get above 750. I promise you that. The reason why you may be stuck at 750, it depends on how old your accounts are too. So your credit score is made up of multiple different factors. So your age, so your payment history is number one. Payment history. Do you have lates? Do you have collections? Do you have charge-offs? Do you have bankruptcies? Do you have any of these types of things? If you have any of these things, then it's going to affect your credit score. Next is your utilization. I always tell you guys, you need to be below 30%. Once you've mastered 30%, you need to be below 10%. I always have 1 to 2% reporting on my credit report at all times. Okay? You don't want it to be 0, but you want it to be below 10. And I always have mine between 1 and 2. 1 and 2% keeps me at 815 credit score. When I paid all of my stuff off, it actually hurt me, and it brought me down to like a 795. So you want to have something reporting, okay? So that's what you need to do. You need to have a credit profile that has different accounts. Even if they're all credit, they like a mix of credit, but even if they were all credit cards, it's the fact that you don't have enough credit. And secondly, your age. Your age is super, super, super important, right? So 2 years minimum should be your average. Your average age should be 2 years minimum, but we really like 10 years and above. 10 years and above is what they like. You don't look risky, okay? So I hope that answers your question, Humble Simp. So let's go to question number 12. Tamara Davis. How long does it take in order for it to report on your credit, and how long does it take for it to unsecure? So I'm guessing this comes from the pledge loan hack as well. So it will report once you make your first payment and or that following month. So whichever one comes first. So if you make your first payment first, then it'll start reporting. That following month, after a whole month has went by, then it will start to report on your credit. So whichever one comes first. And you can get it to unsecure if you do the certificate. So again, there's the certificate pledge loan, and then there's the savings pledge loan. There are two different things. So if you do the certificate and you borrow 100% of your amount, then it's going to unsecure right away. It's going to go right into your checking account. So you just have to request that. All right. So let's go down back into the comment section, guys. If you're liking this, please like the video, put some fire and put in the chat. Put some gems in the chat, put some dollar signs in the chat, because we're all here to get other people's money. So I like the dollar signs. I personally, I would like dollar signs in the chat if this is useful for you guys, if you guys are getting what you need out of this live. All right, so let's see. We're going to go to, let's see who else we got. Any other questions in the chat, or should I go back to my paper? Let's go to question number 13. Nigel Morris. So with the pledge loan, if I'm doing $1,001 for 18 months, I need to wait until it reports on my credit, then pay off 90 or $900 to $950 back, then set the rest of the balance on auto pay to pay off the loan. Yes, that's actually very correct, Nigel. So if you did $1,000, you want to let the loan report, and then you're going to pay off majority of that loan, right? And if you pay off majority of the loan, it's already on auto pay. You don't have to set on auto pay. It's already on auto pay. It's already been paid. So you don't have to worry about it. You just check on it every single month, and just be mindful that you set your amount for 18 months. So it needs to be paid off by the 18-month deadline. That's it. That's literally, the pledge loan has helped so many people's credit. And Navy Federal is not the only bank who does it, but Navy Federal does it the best. Everybody copied Navy Federal in doing this. So it's not the only bank who does this, but other banks do it, and they do it different. So again, not every single bank will you be able to borrow 100% of your money back. So understand that. That's very important. You got to do your research and make sure you ask the right questions to make sure, if you're not using Navy Federal, that the pledge loan is going to work the same way. One, that you can put your money in and borrow it all back, and then be able to pay it all back except for a small portion of it. Make sure there's no prepayment penalties. Make sure that how it's reporting to the credit bureaus. These are all things that you want to ensure that you do to make sure that you get the same benefit. Okay. All right, Fearless 908. Once you do the pledge loan, that basically starts new credit though. So it will affect my length of credit. Yes, it will affect your length of credit. That is absolutely right. However, if you already, let's say, for example, you're a person with an average credit history of 10 years, right? It's going to bring your average history down, but it's going to build your credit profile. And what they look for is your credit profile, not necessarily your credit score. Now, if you have a whole bunch of brand new credit cards that you just opened in the last 6 months, then yeah, I would still do it based on how your credit score is, but I would be conscious of that, right? So it's very much depending on how long you've had credit. What's your average age? So everybody, when you leave this live today, I would recommend that you do two things, okay? Go to annualcreditreport.com and get your credit reports, one for TransUnion, one for Equifax, one for Experian, okay? That's number one. Then number two, you want to set up free accounts. One free account with Experian, one free account with Credit Karma, okay? Very important. We're not necessarily doing this to look at the scores. We're doing this to you want to look at what's your average age of your accounts, what's your average age of history, right? So if you're below 2 years, then yeah, you need to work on possibly getting added as an authorized user to someone who has good credit, okay? Has a good credit card or a good loan or a good auto loan or whatever line of credit. So if your average age is less than 2 years, that is what you need to do. If your credit profile is limited, meaning you've only had one credit card, maybe one auto loan, maybe one personal loan, you need to get more credit on your profile. That's what's going to get you high approvals on the personal side as well as the business side. Okay. So I hope that everybody got that, because that's really important. You need to go to annualcreditreport.com, go to creditkarma.com, get those reports and look at how many credit products have you had. If you haven't had at least 10 that are positive, then you need to add some. You need to have at least 10 positive reporting. They could be closed accounts. It could be paid off loans. It doesn't matter, but you want them to have been positive. You need to have 10 of them. They could be lines of credit. They could be credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, personal loans. It doesn't matter. If you don't have that, then you need to do this pledge loan hack, because you need positive things reporting on your profile. Okay. If your age is the issue, you need to become an authorized user on someone's account who has positive credit. If your lack of credit is the issue, You need to start getting into places like Navy Federal that accept people that don't have the best credit. If you need personal credit repair, you need personal credit things, click the link down below and get on a consultation with me so we can talk about your specific situation and I can help to guide you and look at your actual credit report. Come to the consultation with your credit reports if you get on a consultation with me about personal credit. Okay? Very, 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 very different. You said, why do different agencies such as Credit Karma, Identity, Credit Report completely different scores? So again, Super Miss, we're looking at it for what's on your credit profile. We're not looking at the score. We're not worried about the score. Credit Karma reports everything. That's why I like using Credit Karma. Their scores are off. Their scores are off. But what they're reporting, they report everything. Experian, same thing. Credit Karma doesn't have Experian. So that's why you use Experian. And you can use the paid account for Experian if you want to. And that'll give you TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. But I'm trying to give you all a free way to get the same information. So Super Miss, does that make sense? All right, we're going to take one last question and we're going to close out the live for today. I hope that everyone is getting value out of this. I hope that you all are taking notes because I'm here to serve you, right? So let's think of these Ask Dee lives as me serving you, right? So we're going to go ahead and take question number 14 for Word Life 334. Is the person who's asking. Word Life 334. Does having OOPS affect your chances of getting Navy Federal products? Having OOPS increases your internal score. It increases your ability to get Navy Federal products because they know that no matter what, if you don't pay them or you don't pay something, they can use the OOPS to cover the cost. So there's all sorts of things that help your internal score, and OOPS is one of them. So OOPS is nothing but overdraft protection. That's what OOPS is. It's a line of credit that is overdraft protection. So that if you overdraft or something happens with your account, it won't go insufficient. It will be able to be paid. So that is why I put OOPS on my account. Okay? So if there's no more questions, I'm going to keep this solid at an hour every Sunday. I want you guys to join me here at Ask Dee. Make sure you submit your questions. As you guys see, I'm answering all of these questions to the best of my knowledge. I thank you guys for joining me on our very, very, very first one. And I will see you all next Sunday. If you haven't done so, watch the personal credit series. The personal credit series is going to get you the things that you're asking me about your personal credit. Will go specifically into your situation on a consultation. Click the link in the description to get the consultation. All right. Watch the videos, like the live, share these videos, and come back next Sunday. I will see you guys at the same time. Thank you for watching Ask Dee and have a wonderful Sunday. Happy Father's Day to any men out here watching. And it's Father's Day. If you're a father, happy Father's Day. And I am wanting everyone here to be financially free. So I will see you guys in the next one.